reports. Now it's time for public comment. Anyone who's in the audience that wishes to speak tonight, now is your opportunity. If you want to speak, I'd have you come up to the front, state your name and address for the record. And just a reminder that speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to deliver their comments. Kevin will keep track of the time. When 2 minutes are up, he will raise his hand, and I ask that you wrap up your comments at that time. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments, and the City Council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. So the floor is open to anyone who wishes to speak. Yes.
Hello, I'm Teresa Harsma, 619 Truman, and I'm a member of the Bee Friendly Environmental Alliance of Steele County, and our purpose is to encourage people to plant native trees, shrubs, grasses, and flowers for our pollinators and for birds. And I am pleased to hear that the city has, I know that you have adopted a pollinator-friendly resolution, and I'm pleased to hear that you've taken some steps as far as reducing how often you spray and training for best practices. I appreciate those efforts. And I still, and we recently had a forum where we had people from our community speaking about some master gardeners, and Dustin Demmer and Steele County Soil and Water Conservation spoke about pollinators and how to put in a garden and, you know, how to plant plants and so on. And there were a few people there that expressed concern about spraying for mosquitoes. And so anyway, I have a few cards from there with comments for the City Council. I'll just leave those here. And I myself am quite sensitive to any kind of chemicals at all, and I know some people that are also. And I just want to point out some of the effects from the spray that you use. And it says here, let's see, harmful if inhaled, causes damage to organs and nervous system, may cause an allergic skin reaction, may be fatal if swallowed and enters airways. Also it says, this product is extremely toxic to aquatic organisms, including fish and invertebrates. This product is highly toxic to bees exposed to direct treatment on blooming crops or weeds. Under United States Regulations 29 CFR 1910 1200-hazard communication standard, this product is considered hazardous. Anyway, yes?
No, your time is up.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
You did great. You had that right down to the minute. So thanks, Teresa. Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Mr. Wasson.
Arthur Wasson, 646 East Vine.
That's the president. I haven't want anybody ever.
Twin Cities mosquito control practices showing it in a public TV presentation do not involve spraying. Sometimes I had something I had called attention to years ago in my public input to Owatonna, a pollinator-friendly city. So I was surprised last summer when the city sprayed for mosquitoes, particularly because being out in my gardens many evenings, I had observed last summer was virtually mosquito-free. At the Bee Friendly meeting last Saturday, others voiced concerns that this unnecessary mosquito spraying was killing pollinators. Here's a brief sampling of my public input for pollinator-friendly practices going back almost 10 years. February 2019, public input. After the pollinator-friendly city resolution presentation, the city council member asked me the question, what does it mean to be a pollinator-friendly city? A response, remember your basic biological science. Pollinator-friendly means providing food and shelter. For pollinators, look at most lawns, no food or shelter there for pollinators. My written request on the 8th of March 2013 is debatably the biggest opportunity for the town to become a pollinator-friendly city. Use no fertilizers or herbicides on city lawns, coupled with a reduced mowing frequency that will increase flowering habitat. Watch the PBS mosquito control presentation for some science education. I'll leave you with some questions, suggestions for the so-called pollinator-friendly city. Let's start calling rain gardens and stormwater retention ponds pollinator rain gardens. Create a written vegetation management policy and pest control policy modeled after the Twin Cities mosquito control practices. Then not only follow the written vegetation management and pest control policy, but use a written policy as employee training.
I'm going to ask you to wrap it up, Roger.
I just quit with a lot of opportunities for pollinator rain gardens. We've got stormwater retention ponds at the library, by the schools, all around the city. A lot of opportunities for pollinator rain gardens. Biggest roadblock is some people envision the project from turf grass lawns is looking messy, and you guys make the calls.
And thank you, Roger. Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Yes, sir.
Good evening, council members. My name is Matt Sennett. I'm at 2519 Stony Creek Drive. On behalf here tonight, for myself and over 400 residents. Last meeting it was just over 300. We have a petition going as we are adamantly opposed to a highway being built in place of our city street that we were promised on the side of our neighborhood of 150 homes out on the east side of Rose Street. That location is referred to as 29th Avenue. There's currently a road study in progress to determine what route is the best for the east side corridor, the name of this project that's going out there. But when we have the lead engineer on the project saying that 29th Avenue is the obvious choice, clearly there's a lot of bias in this project and a lot of bias in this study, apparently, that we're not so comfortable with. The reason we're so adamantly opposed to this is for the safety of kids. Right here is my swing set. It would be right next to this road. And even if it was placed out 100 feet, we wouldn't be so comfortable with the exposure there. And the other kids playing in the neighborhood, as you can see from this picture here, which is a routine sunny day in the spring, fall, and summer. In fact, it comes just feet within this house right here, one of my neighbors, on the side of their house. Same type of road that goes in front of Walmart down there, and in fact I took the city engineer out at the front of their building there on that road, and the noise was incredible at rush hour. And yet we're talking about putting this next to existing neighborhoods of over 150 homes. This was a 30-year-old plan. I understand it's not easy to plan for a different road just a half mile down the road, called 34th Avenue, but it's the right thing to do, and it's set up for this type of project. Like the Reverend said this evening, and then also at the last meeting, it's important for us to do what's right, not easy. It's important for us to serve the citizens of this community and do what's pleasing for Owatonna and its citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Sennett. On down.
Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive. Before deciding on which projects to invest in, Owatonna sought input from residents. Citizens indicated a clear priority: improving pavement quality, fixing our current roads. The lowest priorities were decreasing congestion and improving travel times. The proposed east side corridor aligns with the lowest priorities, not residents' preferences. Of the 26 respondents with transportation concerns, only 2 mentioned the need for the north-south route on the east side of town, while 27%, the highest percentage, specifically advocated for extending Partridge south to 18th Street. Despite assertions from elected officials that more residents than we think within our neighborhood support 29th Avenue, recent neighborhood engagement reveals starkly different sentiments. Out of 141 residents consulted, only 1 favored 29th Avenue. While there might be isolated support for 29th Avenue, of those expressing a preferred location, 99% preferred 34th Avenue. The overwhelming consensus with that was that the proposed plan was too close to the neighborhood and simply doesn't make sense, especially given the intended 100-foot footprint. Residents frequently express frustration with the lack of effort from representatives to seek firsthand knowledge of the community's concerns. Many residents felt there was a lack of information from the city and the county and felt marginalized in decision-making process, believing that the city administration disregards their input and pushes forward with predetermined plans. The most common feedback we heard was, "We didn't even know this was still a thing. We haven't heard anything from the city in a long time. The city comes up with an idea, it's a done deal, nothing else matters. They push it through no matter what. It doesn't matter what we think, the city does what they want to do." These sentiments are not unique to the East Side Corridor, but reflective of a broader concern about governance and community engagement. Safety, accessibility, and quality of life are at stake here and demand more attentive and responsive approaches from city officials. It's time for a change, a shift towards genuine listening and consideration of constituents' desires. Relocating the East Side Corridor to 34th Avenue is a viable solution, offering improved safety and opportunity for growth.
Thank you, Ms. Serna.
If I talk from the back of the room, and I have just an extra 30 seconds, it takes us one here.
Hasn't started yet.
That's the we're thinking of it here.
Gary Jones, 995 Ridge Road, you know, whatever the talk about. Deer stand safety, I'm scared of it, and I found somebody else who is too. None other than the Mayo Clinic has 6 different articles posted online specifically addressing deer stand safety because they are dangerous. And within the 6 articles, Mayo says, every year 3,000 to 4,000 hunters are injured by elevated tree stand falls. 82% of hunters who fall from tree stands are not wearing a full body harness. Invest in a 5-point harness as opposed to a waist harness. The average fall from a tree stand is 15 feet. Injuries suffered can lead to broken bones, paralysis, or death. Hunters should maintain a 3-point contact with their deer stand runners. There's even a deer stand safety video put out to the internet by the Mayo Clinic so that you can watch it online. So I think the consensus is these things are dangerous. I think we all know that. What about kids? Tree stands, unfortunately, are open 24/7 in our parks. Hunters know and can take the risks if they want to hunt. Lose an 8-year-old with a backpack taking a shortcut through the woods after school is not. Mayo understands the difference between a waist harness and a 5-point harness. 4 teenagers on fat tire bikes at Leo Rudolph daring each other to climb a stand because it's been put in front of them by parking deck as kind of an attractive nuisance. They don't know the difference. And there's a $20 fee that says it's okay to leave them out for 8 weeks. I think some changes have to be made. And for the discussion that has been made, I'm truly thankful. You don't want to turn your backs on this danger. And I've said before, do a deer count with drones and infrared cameras. It works for the metro. Why not for us? Find where the problem areas are and concentrate on those areas. Have them for 2 weeks only, just in the parks that they're applicable to. Close the parks for the weekends, keep the public safe and away from the bow hunters. After 2 weeks, taxpayers get their parks back. There'll be a plaque with the names of the Owatonna City Council members responsible for the beautiful renovation we're in tonight. Something to be very, very proud of. You don't want to get your names on something because you sponsored a dangerous activity and a kid wants it with a kid or injured. Please don't turn a blind eye to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
My name is Susan Mullenbach. I live at 2575 Massey Creek Drive. My husband and I lived there 18 years. Our property would abut up to the 29th Avenue planned location for the east side corridor. We are firmly against this location. It would impact negatively our lives and our property, thereby putting forth a degree of partnership. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak this evening? Now, we'll move on to council comments. And first up tonight is Brent.
Nothing this evening.
Hey, Doug,
Nothing tonight.
Nate,
Nothing to add.
Dave,
Nothing to add.
Dan,
Nothing to add.
Kevin.
Then there's me.
Then there's Kevin.
One thing that we asked Mr. Boosie, once we got into our new council chambers, was to have more of a department head presence. We have 4 department heads here tonight. Thank you. Thank you, department heads, for coming. I think it's an important thing to give the citizens updates, and so thank you for taking your time to share with us tonight the great things that are going on in your departments. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Mayor?
Nothing to add.
Chris?
Well, I'm not gonna run the streak. Nothing to add.
Well, what can I say after all that? So we had good participation this evening. That's great to see. So I'm not going to add anything either, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So.
Motion by Dan, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Is there any discussion? Which I'm sure there's not. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries and we're adjourned.